What a great session today. I learned from every speaker, right from next to me, Dr. Greville. So beautiful. I have to make a comment about everybody's presentation. Let me give a medical quote. Dr. Greville talked about so much of coronary artery disease and several factors we should look into. One, he mentioned obesity. It is said that obesity runs in the family, but actually it runs in the family who don't run. That's what the medical code is. The family runs, they won't have obesity. That's what it says. Secondly, Pudir brought so many beautiful points about the perceiving. Oh, he is leaving. Okay, because I need to ask you a question when you come back. And we'll find out whether he's coming back. And the presentation point of view of the parents, point of view of children, is also beautifully brought out by Bhagavan. How they look into, what they expect, how we should. Everywhere he has given this simple, so beautiful explanation. And a lot of points which were brought out, you will be hearing Swami telling us in my talk today. So that's what I said, nothing is a coincidence. He creates a situation, we can call it, oh, it's a miracle, exactly what. This afternoon when earlier we were having a lunch, Rani and others, we had a talk. Some of the questions come up. We have answered here this afternoon. Many points, some more you pointed out, are so beautifully coming out. And why of it, Swami would like to give us, all of us. And it's not a coincidence. What is, like I said, you also pointed out, whomsoever we encounter, it is not just a coincidence. Whatever happens, for all your discussions, it's what prompted by him. It comes through our heart, how we receive it. Everything we can respond to. I'm using word respond. The mind can have a choice of two things. Either it can react or it can respond. That's pure and simple. He's always giving us guidance to respond properly. But sometimes mind does not do that. The why of it you will see today. This morning I said my journey, like my personal journey with Swami. It looked as though I said, starting from 64 when I met Swami until he passed away, and then what is happening. So I consider that as though it is a personal journey of mine. Is it really true? Let us look at the journey together, our journey with Swami, and we will understand mine is no different from anyone else here. It is not because I worked in the hospital, I have a special journey, no. Everybody is having the same journey. That's what the message would be about our personal journey with Swami. Let us again offer our humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagavan, who is inspiring us constantly, who is watching us constantly. In order to explain, like Pudir was saying, there is a temporary and the permanent in terms of peace. Where is the temporary lying? Where is the final inner peace coming out? Swami explained beautifully in one of the lectures, one of his discourses. This is something already known, that we are not who we are, you will ask. And about the perception of who we are, that's what I was going to ask you. Before I go into this, I will ask Shiva, where do you see Bala? Loudly, so that everybody.
In terms of...
No, where do you see me?
When
I simply asked him, where do you see Shiva? See how many words he's using. When he did this, then when he did that. Tell me now, in one sentence, where do you see me? Simple question. Respond, please. Where? Say that, that's the truth, right? I'm standing next to the mic. Is he right? He is wrong. Let me tell you why. He sees me next to the mic. Everybody would say yes. That is his perception, we think. Oh, he is seeing me here. Turn off all the light in my darkness. Will he be able to see? He won't see anything. Bala is still standing here, but he cannot see. The perception goes outwardly, impulse-wise. He sees me, but what he sees, if he sees me, it is wrong because he perceives in his eye, in his retina. The image of myself goes into his eye. It is actually inverted. I am turning upside down in his retina. Immediately the brain interprets it as a normal shape. So immediately the brain says, there's a guy standing over there. So where is this perception, deep perception taking place? Inside us. It is not outside us. Everything around, but Bhagavan says, everything is within you. And he starts explaining why it is within us. Let me go into, he says we are of 5 sheets. Many of you would know. It's like this morning I was wearing a coat and then my shirt and there's a little sweater here because today is cold and my banyan. Okay, so many layers, then only my skin comes. Similarly, our body is surrounded, Bhagavan says, let's look at the 5 koshas. This is entire us, okay? The inner one is the real one. That's what you are. But you identify yourself with the body, the Annamaya kosha. It exists because the Anna, the diet, what we eat, the food we consume, that's what has caused that sheath. That's like coat. Then comes the Pranamaya kosha. That body has to survive, each cell has to breathe. The prana, that energy is just inside, making every cell active and do their job. Okay? And these two, both Pranamaya and Annamaya, are more of a, come to that. Then the third one is the Manomaya, the mind. The mind tells you this way, oh, my mind is very depressed today, I am very angry, the krodha, and all these things are happening in the mind, good and bad. And then the intellect says, oh, now it is this time, you have to go this way, you have to make a right turn, not left turn. All these calculations, mathematics, entire logic, everything goes on so quickly in that intellect. Bhagavan says, don't identify yourself with this. You are different from this. And if you had to cut ourselves, whole body, and make a section of us, the outermost, let's say green color, is the Annamaya kosha. Come little bit inner, you see a red circle or orange circle, I cannot see from here, that is Pranamaya kosha. These two sheets, Swami would call it a gross body. That's what we were perceiving. He was perceiving my gross body and saying that Dr. Bala is standing in front of the mic. Okay, let's go further inside, the Manomaya, the blue one. It is the mind, and then the Vijnanamaya, the intellect, the brain and all the connections, everything is there. That itself is only a subtle body. But the causal body means the cause for our existence, the cause for me to talk, the cause for me to invite. Everything is that one. That magenta color is the Anandamaya Kosha. That's our within. That is permanently very happy, calm, peace. That is the inner peace. It doesn't come out from, in other words, if my skin I have to touch, that's where my body I can say, I'm identifying, oh, this is me. No, this is me. No, no, this is me. So I have to know we are identifying, it's false identification of ourself. I'm saying ourself means I'm not talking about the us here. The real us, this, is, that's what the ego is. Ego is not like somebody, ego is arrogant, no. The ego, false identification of ourself, somewhat like in the magenta color thing. Inside, you can see this one. That is the seed he was talking about. That seed is the soul. You can call Atma. You can call it anyway, the spirit, the energy. That is the essence of each one of us here. And that essence, Swami calls, always uses the word Atma. You are the Atma. I am the Atma. You and I are one. You are God. I am God. As though we completely understand, we cannot play with Swami. You'll ask, who are you? I'll say, I'm Shiva. So every day you'll ask you will say something, I'm a so-and-so, your work, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, whatever. You will go. Then, okay, next day the college boy thinks, I have to say who I am. I'm Swami. You're Swami? Go for darshan. He will say. All that, even though we respond to Swami correctly, we respond with our mind and intellect, and he knows that. But he wants us deeply understand that we are none other than that soul. It is, this morning you started saying, the whole purpose of our being, the purpose, what is the purpose of your birth? If each one is asked, I may say, my purpose is to be a good doctor. I want to be a good engineer. I want to be a good teacher. I want to be a good president of the center. That is not the purpose. That is not the purpose of living. The purpose of living is Bhagavan's purpose for us, why he created each and every one of us here. That purpose, that his purpose is the real purpose. To understand that purpose, if you understand that we are not all these outer sheets, we are only the inner seed, then it will be helpful, he says. Then it's almost like, I got this one yesterday, the beautiful temple in India. Have you seen so beautifully majestic, there is a door outside, so beautiful. But each door has to be open, then there will be another wall, go inside, then another one. In order to attain the final sanctum sanctorum, you have to go through. You cannot completely throw my body away. I don't need this body for my realization. You cannot throw away your mind. You need your mind. It's the mind which is going to take you, because that's another door. It's another door. In order to understand that deep within there is something, we need to go through the doors to the inner sanctum where it is so peaceful, so beautifully. And not only that is not, you go beyond, there is like a Swami's statue here. It is inside. We may call it God, we may call it by any name, but that is us. It's the significance of the whole going to temple. That's what it is. Our spiritual journey, I started saying from 1964 this morning, I had a good... When was I born? The spiritual journey is the journey of the spirit inside us, that little seed I showed you. When was the seed started its journey? Even before I was born, the seed got into the womb of my mother, let's say, and then it gets surrounded by these few tissues. That becomes a body, then becomes all the organs, then all the thing, then little feet, then there is like life into it, and slowly it grows and becomes small fetus, bigger fetus, and then a baby comes out. So the soul has already entered us. That's the soul which is going around, carrying our body, carrying our prana kosha, carrying our manas, our mind, carrying the intellect and all the thing. It is the spirit which is carrying us. We are not carrying the spirit inside us. That is the concept we should get rid of. Oh, Swami is within. So I am going, I am thinking, I am carrying within my Swami. You know, the Swami is carrying us. This is the thing we all completely have to understand fully, not just intellectually. That is the truth, Swami says. Because even when the spirit was born, Bhagavan has created this planet. We didn't have to do a thing for us to have a place to be born. Okay? Already our parents have been created. For them to be created, their parents were created, and so on. So everything has been already been done. We don't see. We see later on, oh, the body of them thinking is me, but it is your spirit which is born, and it is taking us around and round and round. That's the spiritual journey. Okay? I can say I have traveled. See, once it goes around the sun once time, it is 1 year. Believe me, I have gone 72 times around the sun. That was my journey, but that's my spiritual journey. I say north and south. Let's call it nature. And south is Swami or support. The whole nature is supporting us, and west and east, that is we. We are all traveling in this planet free, of course. It is traveling at the speed of 1,000 miles or so per hour. We don't see anything. It's just carrying us around and around and around. We think we are traveling. This afternoon, somebody asked about different paths we follow, which is the right one. Okay, in order to come here to Ottawa, I could have taken a train, or I could have come by, let's say, car. I could have also flown, which I did. I took airlines and I came here. They're all different paths. But before, no matter which path I want to take, the atmosphere has already been created for the plane to come. The roads have already been there for the car or bus to come. The railroads are already been made. All these things are already made for us. Why? For our spirit to thrive in this. So, no matter what, we think there are different paths. Bhagavan says there's only one path for that spirit. That path, that's a path to God. And Bhagavan said innumerable times in his discourses, love alone is the path to God. Only if we love, we will understand that this tiny form of our energy is coming from somewhere. We can communicate. I'll tell you in the meditation what the technique they use and why it works. And that's the only way. Love alone is the path. Remember last year, love was the source. He gave that in the form of a little spirit seed, Atma, and now it is traveling in a path. What path it is taking? For other 3 outer layers, 4 layers, it looks like as though it's a train or the thing. No. It is the love which is carrying that spirit all around in the spiritual journey, and that's what is carrying all of us as the human beings here. It is not only in us, it is in animals, it's in insects. Even in insentient, they have life. And Bhagavan can perceive all that, but we won't. For the simple reason we identify in a wrong way. And even when we are born, He has given the directions very clearly. Like I always, have in my car, it will tell me, just say where to go, GPS will take me, the navigation system of the car. I always think of Swami when I see that, because it always gives you the right direction wherever you have to take. Even if you mistake and took a wrong exit, it's not going to say, hey, stupid, you have missed the exit. No, it will recalculate and say what is the right way to go. That's what Swami has been doing for all of us. It's like a navigation person helping us to go to our path. There is a highway for us to reach God, but we are always getting excited by our mind. We take some exits. Oh, there is an outlet mall. Can we stop here? Okay, stop. And spend some money. Then compare this one from the other one, and then the mind wanders around, has gone. You miss the highway. Okay, this is the divine direction. And Bhagavan says, love is the path. Now, how do we remember? Constantly think of Him. Constant presence of God. There's a small booklet, from Italy. It's so nicely, it is written about how that priest always used to remember God. Because of Him, he does everything. He could have given a big position, but no, this is what God wants me to do. I'll always remember for that. Bhagavan says, constantly think of, either it's namasmarana, either it is meditation, whatever path you want to do service and feel, but feel that Bhagavan is through you, and that's what is making you do all that you're doing. And constant remembrance, gifts of God. Everything we hear, they're all temporary thing. He talked about the temporary and the permanent joy. All the gifts we get, whether it is a car or whether it is a house, whether it is anything, oh, Bhagavan, you gave me a very good job and everything. He says all these gifts are just temporary, because you will call it marakam, the one is going to perish. Even he materializes something to tell you, it's just a material thing, even it can go away. Don't hold on to that. That's because they call marakam. Then other thing, other than those gifts from God, the real gift from God is a tarakam. The values, the humility, the love, the truth, the patience, everything He gives, that will remain with you, because that's what is going to affect our soul. If we completely are, completely entangled with all this body, mind, intellect complex, and the soul gets like a dust. It's not even clean. Unless you clear it. Now to clear it, he says, look, receive gift from God. When you sit in the morning, receive the blessing. He is there to bless each and every one of us, means He is there to bless, give that light, make a connection with your soul. Completely visualize, when you're so quiet in the morning, peacefully close your eyes, completely focus, you bring your awareness on your breath, and slowly focus here on the forehead in this area. You can see some, whatever different kinds of color light. A golden light will come in. And be only attentive, aware to your breath, and watch that light. The light slowly, you can take it down slowly all over your body. At the end, you will feel that you are completely filled with that light. And when you filled with light, you say to yourself, I am that light, because you're full of that light. At that time, make a request. Pudir wants to get a better cars. Keep that thought in your mind. You want to help him, let's say. I'm just making little trivial maybe. Or somebody is sick, whatever. Keep that thought there and surround it with that light. The whole, it's like a frame you are putting right there. It's not visualization technique. When you surround that, offer that whole box with your request, with your plea. Whatever in the yoga, they will have a different terminology for that. Completely offer it to Swami. Just leave it to him. It's none of your business what happened to the result of it. You give that to Bhagavan. He takes care of it. That's a way of praying. And we have nothing to do with that. We put that petition, we gave an application. The results, it will happen when the time comes in the right way for that person. And so we have to remember the firm faith in God. This morning I was saying is we have to have a complete conviction. It is not a convenience. And we always pray for, like this way, when we pray for somebody, pray for bliss. Don't pray for silly things like worldly material things. That's what. Don't pray for an interview. Don't pray for a chain. Don't pray for a ring and all that. They're all temporary. But pray for permanent ones, that is peace and bliss. That's what he was talking, like a temporary one, the transient one, and the permanent one. Now, why we cannot achieve? So far it looked like everything clear. Swami says in one of the Saraswati Puja, Dasara discourse, he was saying there are 6 basic enemies we have. And watch those enemies. Then you would be able to see who you are. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsalya. In fact, for the 10, they will have 10 different, for Dasahara, all the 10 things you want to get rid of. So he took like the first top 6 as a basic thing. Kama is a desire. I want to have a better car. I want to have a better house. And then anger. Oh, anger, so easy to. And Lobha is miserliness. Moha, infatuation, pride, Mada, and jealousy. I always say jealousy. You watch. He's wearing too much jealousy, he'll say. So all these things, these are our enemies. We have to get rid of them. And always, good. The ring and the lion. This represents all our enemies, like a lion. And the ring master there, he is nobody in front of that lion. Like this elephant I was describing this morning. They are so powerful. But he's been trained so well, it looks like it is obeying. Who is the master? Not the lion. This little guy, he becomes a lion. So you master your mind, get rid of your enemies, hold on your hand, and certainly then you can understand the divinity, Bhagavan says. And for this, love is the path. The mind, as I said, it can take you towards God or it can take you away from God. It is the lock and key. For every lock that has been made in this world, there is a key. So that key can take you inside or outside. If it goes inside, it is towards God. Outside, it is taking you away from. So with that, I'll have a small marine compass. See, north is Bhagavan. So always our mind should be showing towards Bhagavan. Then it's easy to understand the divinity. No matter you turn around, now where is Bhagavan? Can you point out? It will come on the 3 o'clock position now, because the north is there, see? Then another turn, where is Bhagavan now? At 6 o'clock. So it's always the mind, if it turns towards God, he says it's easy to overcome these. Okay? And the next one, I think I have, love is the path. Wherever you keep it, always you should point towards God. In every action of our daily life, manifest our love. Divinity emerges from that love. Divinity is nothing but that love force, that which is sustaining the entire world, entire universe, entire galaxy, all the entire thing. That is the energy. And that energy, we are all little fragment of that energy. This is the easiest path to God realization. Why people are not taking it? People always say, oh, I don't have much love because my mother was very angry with me or my father did that. No, we have abundance of love inside us. So there is no, you won't run out of love inside. The devotion is in search of, I don't know how long I have time here. Well, until somebody stops. Oh, Shiva's, how long I should go? Because now I'm starting about Namasmarana, why it will help us to clear our mind. I'll go. 4? 4:30. Okay. Initially I had 1.5 hour time. Now it is shortened to less than an hour, so doesn't matter. Whatever happens, that's what will happen. Whatever the time, that's the time it will happen. I will go quickly about the devotion. I always say it's a sort of exploration. We want to attain that seed. We want to go within. That's the whole purpose of divinity. It is eternal present God within us, and we want to reach there. That's what the devotion is. No matter what we call Atma, soul, energy, or as part of our consciousness, these are all only words. But there is that energy within us. And the mind is already talked about. It's a continuous noise, mental noise is going like the waves in the ocean. It never ever stops, it keeps on going. And how do we still? We have to balance it, the mind, there is a spirit. And unless we balance it, it's going to be hard. It looks so easy to say. Why it is so difficult? That's because of that. If you don't balance it, it's going to be a problem. Can have only peace when it merges with the absolute consciousness, primal cause and unchanging existence. What are the things will help the mind getting eliminated? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, and Sakyam Atmanivedanam. So they're all like a different Navavidha Bhakti, or 9 forms of devotion. All these things point, even if we follow one, it will help our mind to get that light which we need. And the divine is within, then still why we are not able to perceive it? It's like a computer. On side there's a doctor, there's a neurologist. Here is the computer. Program is going fine. And the brain is okay for the patient and she is fine also. Suddenly, sometimes you have an error in the computer, it won't display. Why? Similarly, sometimes the doctor may not understand or the patient may not understand the doctor. So what's happening? We always say it's not working. That's because of you need an antivirus. I'm not part of Norton or anybody, I'm not advocating, but I'm just showing, for example, there is some kind of virus got into. Similarly, there is, in order to get rid of that virus in our brain, the doctor has to use something, and Swami says, use Namasmarana. That's the best, to get rid of your mental cluttering and all that. I'll just quickly go and say that the music when we sing, they're all nothing but sound vibrations. In physics, each sound has got an amplitude, as a frequency. That's how it works. Each note, sa, re, ga, ma, whatever we sing, has got a special frequency and amplitude, and it is associated. Each note is associated with the chakra in our body. For example, the energy centers in the spine, these are all chakras, and they are associated with this. And the notes are sung correctly, their frequency match, and once they match, this phenomenon in physics is a resonance, so it looks so beautiful. So when we produce that sound, the vibration, when it hits our spinal column, we feel so good. Why? From the spinal column, let's say if these are the energy center, you see 3 lower centers, 3 higher centers. The central one, the heart center, is the one which connects these 3. The lower ones with the lower instincts we have. The higher one with a better logic and, and the heart is the one which processes the entire thing. It's almost like an intel something there which is given. Even, okay, all these things are connected to the brain, okay? And in the regions of brain, this is just a cut section of brain. Each part of the brain does something, it's connected with our vertebral canal. And I'll go quickly because there are different parts of the frontal lobe, cingulate, gyrus, parietal, and all these things, depending on the activity you do, it gets activated. And they've studied this in a church, in a mosque, whenever they sing, they put electrodes in the brain and see how much activities are there and where the activity goes. So depending on the type of spiritual activity, if it is emotional stress, anger, or depression, there is an area where the brain responds. If it is like a mental, you want quiet, very inner calm you want to have, where there is another area in the frontal lobe that's connected with this peacefulness, and the mental memory improves, and they say 8 weeks of meditation for 12 minutes a day, even anti-aging and so on. These are all already studied by neurotheologists. Then socially you feel compassionate with somebody, how and why? The compassion is connecting with others. That's one area in the anterior cingulate. But the brain itself can perceive, can get activated. By itself it cannot add to anything because you need another app in our system. That app is nothing but our heart. Our heart is not just a simple pumping organ. This is what we need to understand. Beyond that pumping organ, it is surrounded by electromagnetic waves, and that's what gives the impression to the entire system. So in other words, brain would receive, the processing area is our heart. Around that heart, these waves can only express two things. It can either express fear or it can express love. Otherwise, it cannot express anything else. The expression of joy comes from the heart. The expression of sadness and fear come from the heart again. So, the heart is the most important organ. You have to say from your heart, they say. What it is, it's nothing but this expression of love. Bhagavan always uses the word, it should come from your heart. That's what it is. And of course, number one thing is, Bhagavan says silence. If you are silent, that's the first part of the spiritual discipline. And you are able to receive these vibrations in a silent area, in a quiet morning. That's the reason they're asking us to do Supravadam early in the morning. And you wake up and chant, you are able to receive some energy, some gifts from God. And always limited talk promotes divine strength in us. I will limit my talk to 4:30. And again, meditation, I won't go into the details because it itself we need to cover. The devotional singing itself. Oh, is there a good singer around here? Many are leaving, so we need to know why do we sing. We always ask this question. Okay, go ahead, Radhakrishnan. Why do we sing bhajans? Say one word, one sentence. You're calming your mind. Anybody, please go ahead.
Self-happiness, self-joy.
Inner joy you want to get. Okay, anybody else on the lady side?
It takes you away from all the things that are happening around you, so it gives you a break to your
Okay. So escaping from all the worldly thing. It touches the soul. Okay. In the previous workshops I had many. In terms of time, I'm going closer. People want to say, I want to go closer to Swami. Touches the soul, she said. And there is a peacefulness prevails, that's what you were saying. And this is the only way I can express my devotion to Swami, somebody said. And there is one more thing. That one more thing, I'm going to go, because Bhagavan said, I install myself whenever my devotees sing. So that's a good reason. So if you sing good bhajans, he's going to be there. But what did he say? Simply, anywhere anybody sings anyway, he will come and install himself. He doesn't have any other job. If you really think carefully, look at the sentence. No, I install myself and my devotees sing. I'm going to give you, let's pick up 2 or 3 people here. Radhakrishnan Padir and Raju sir is here. Raju sir walks in here. No, don't come. Just listen. He walks in here. He brought his wallet here and he just, Bala, I leave it on my harmonium. So he left. Then he went around, he went down for lunch, and Pudir comes. And then he goes away. All that we know that Pudir walked in, I checked something in the harmonium, but he left. And then Raju sir goes to Radhakrishnan and say, I left my wallet. Oh, I don't know, ask Shiva, he is the president. So when asked Shiva, Raju goes to Shiva and asks, where is the wallet? And, oh, wallet? Then Radhakrishnan says, I saw Pudir walking in, and after that it is not there. Okay? This drama goes on, and then Shiva gets mad. No, in our center, such things should not happen. Why did Pudir do this? And